Hi, I'm Dr. Rosie Main here with Maximize Living, and we're going to be talking today about the plans that we have to eat with our recipe book. We know that we teach 2 to 3 plans. There's no exact plan for everybody, but today we're going to be talking about our core plan, which is by far a plan that everybody should be on, whether you have kids, whether you have young adults, teenagers in your household. Everybody should be on this plan. Now, we talk about these in our book. Our recipes are on here, specifically talking about each plan. You have, of course, symbols that you can find recipes for. The circle here for the core plan and the anchor for the advanced plan. We also have for raw food, people who really love raw food and want to go into more of getting the good enzymes and micronutrients. We have our raw food choices. Today we're going to be talking about the core plan, which is probably by far the most, I really feel, easiest plan. It goes back to going back from fake food to real food, and so God food versus man food. And so when you look at the real food plan, it's going back to the 3 categories, specifically fat, protein, and carbs, going into having good fat versus processed fat. So what I have here today is a little bit of choices that maybe we can go back to in our own kitchens and start to, maybe clean up our own kitchens. Now, most of our kitchens, unfortunately, if we have kids, are filled with these kind of things, and sometimes, many times, it's easy, it's convenient. We have here crackers. A lot of times these things are given to our children, and the reality is that we don't really realize that what we're doing for our kids. All these are toxins. These fats that are no longer God fats are created with hydrogenated and trans fats. And so what you want to do when you go shop is, again, don't look at the outskirts, look at the ingredients. And so automatically the first thing is unbleached flour and hydrogenated fats, trans fats that are, again, not created by God. And so they're considered fake, and so they're toxic, and this is very hard for your children to process, and also creating damage. When you talk about potato chips, anything that doesn't look natural, like this is, Gatorade, supposedly healthy, but yet filled with toxins. So when we talk about fat, specifically, we want to digest real fat. So what are some options with some real fat? So specifically, we talk about coconut oil. When you're going to be cooking, coconut oil is a huge one to transport to, instead of using such as vegetable oils, trans fats that are found in margarine. You want to go back to cooking with actual butter or coconut oil when you're cooking with high temperatures. You also have the options of grapeseed oil and olive oil, but you do want to cook with them in lower temperatures, as well as real butter. Other options, specifically with healthy fats, we have coconut flakes. We put in trail mixes with raw nuts. You have avocados you can mix in vegetables and salads, and so those would be really good fats. And avoid all these trans fats here that you find also in fast foods. When we talk about protein, we want to go back to unnatural versus natural, and so we want to go and honor our bodies by putting real good protein in our body. And so again, the top of the food chain is the animal type that you're eating. It's going to be very very crucial we start changing the meat that you're consuming. Now, most people, when they eat meat, we're going to make sure that you exclude all processed meat. So I'm going to take, for example, here we have anything from hot dogs, but even in these little things, these snacks that we give our kids, it has a cracker, it has a piece of meat here. Now, I've had this open outside the unrefrigerator for about 5 years now, 6 years, and if you notice, there's no mold growing on here. And so the reality is that all these ingredients here are preserving that mold from growing. The mold doesn't even want it. So the truth is you want to go back and get rid of this completely. The second option, again, is going organic. And if you have a natural place in your hometown, maybe a farmer's market, you can actually even opt for grass-fed, which would be by far the best kind of meat, because you're getting the good fats that you get from a good grass-fed cow, the 4-to-1 ratios of good omega-3s and omega-6s. And so lastly, we're talking about carbohydrates. Now, we have whole carbohydrates and we have refined. Carbohydrates are everything from vegetables, so it's not necessarily just bread and pastas, but going back and having, of course, a high amount of carbohydrates coming from vegetables that are going to give you the good nutrients, and preferably, again, if you can get organic, would be great. But the other jump, we're getting away from all these refined carbohydrates. So when we're talking about crackers, so many times people go and think that this is healthy because it looks healthy, there's a wheat on it, but the reality is you want to look at the ingredient list. So sometimes people will choose items such as Nutri-Grain bars to get their fiber, and this item looks healthy, but yet even though it has all the marketing to tell you it's healthy, even on the back, the reality is that if you look at the list, if there's more than 5 ingredients, definitely you're steering the wrong way. And if you look at the first ingredient, it's high fructose corn syrup, so you definitely want to get away from that and opt for more healthier types, such as whole sprouted grain type of products for your kids. These are a better option here. Maybe even making some oatmeal would be great for the advanced plan, and definitely just starting to get informed about what better options there are. So this is the core plan, the easiest plan. Everybody should be on it, and there's lots of ideas on the recipe book, and so log on to our website, maximizelivingdrmaine.com. Thanks.